Okay, in this video we're going to start chapter 11, and 11.1 is about sequences and series. So what is a sequence? It's a function whose domain is a set of positive integers. So that first thing's a little typo there. You could put an arithmetic sequence. That's a special type of sequence that we'll talk about, but grammatically it should just be a sequence. All right. The values a1, a2, a3, a4, all the way to the nth term are called, well, I gave it away, I'll call the terms of the sequence. So we say like the first term, second term, third term. Okay? And if the domain of the function only consists of the first n positive integers only, so not all the positive integers, just a certain amount of them, alright, it's called a finite sequence. So infinite sequences go on forever. Finite sequences have like a specific amount of terms. Okay, so let's look at some examples here. So a lot of times you have a formula for each term. So if you want to write out the first four terms of a sequence, you can use the formula here. N represents the term that you're on, and a sub n represents like the value of that term. So like a sub 1 is the value of the first term, and it equals 1. And you could find it by plugging 1 into this little function here. All right, so it works just like a function. It's just a little different notation. Also, a lot of functions are continuous, meaning like if you graphed it, you would connect the dots. These functions have specific values. They're not continuous because their domains are integers. They're not, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and nothing in between 1 and 2, 2 and 3. All right, so the second term is 4, the third term is 7, and the fourth term is 10. All right, and you could get that by seeing how it's solved right here. All right, by plugging in the term that you're on. So in the next example here, it says the first four terms of the sequence given by this function here. Okay, so why don't you pause the video real quick, and the first two terms are done for you here and here. All right, find the third and the fourth terms, see if you notice anything weird, and if you do, try to figure out why that happened. Okay, so the third term would be 2 and the fourth term would be 4. And if you look at this on the right here, based off the formula, you can see that the values go between, for the odd number terms you get 2, for the even number terms you get 4. Alright, and that has to do with the formula here, where it's a specific number like 3 plus or minus -1 to the third power. So when -1 is raised to an even power, like here, you're going to get +1. And when -1 is raised to an odd power, you're going to get -1 there. So it oscillates between 2 and 4. Alright, so this example in B, this is just a sequence. Alright, it's a function whose domain is a set of positive integers. The one above that we did previously, here, that's a special type of sequence called an arithmetic sequence. And we're going to spend the whole section on those. But arithmetic sequences are pretty much sequences that have functions that are linear. So they go up by the same number each time. Notice how these go up by 3 each time. Alright, so you add the same number to go from the first term to the second term as you do to go from the second term to the third term and the third term to the fourth term. So arithmetic have constant slopes, but not all sequences are arithmetic. There's also geometric sequences, and there are also just sequences that are neither arithmetic or geometric, like this one. Alright, the one in B is just a sequence. It's not any special type of sequence. Okay, so let's finish this video off by trying this example down here in C. So why don't you try C and then this one down here on your own. Pause the video real quick. And then when you unpause, I'll have the answers for you. All right, and then also answer this question on the bottom. Do these two functions, are the first 5 terms the same? And if not, explain how they're different. Okay, so you can see that both of these sequences, the functions, the formulas, give you very similar terms, values, but they are different. In C, the first one, the odd terms are negative, and in the second example, the even terms are negative. Alright, and that has to do with this -1 raised to either the nth or the n plus 1 power. Alright, this one up top, since it's just n, when n is odd, -1 to an odd power will make it negative, which is why the odd ones are negative. And here, 1 plus 1 is even, so when you take an odd number and add 1, it becomes even. So odd terms are like negatives raised to an even power, they're going to be positive. Alright, so that's how they differ. Alright, that's the end of this video. Next one coming up.